Well, this is our second time since we've been here to play SIU. We played them last year here, so this is going to be our first time going over there. And I understand it's a new stadium. I hadn't seen it, but I've heard some great things about it. Obviously, when you look at the rivalry, when I first came here, I thought when I looked at it, most of the games that we played were sellouts. So I think that alone is great for the fans, to get that kind of situation, and we're only about an hour apart, so it's great to be able to get that going again. Sure. I mean, it's right there. They're a little bit ahead of us right now. They've established themselves a pretty good tradition. They've gone to bowl games, about seven to the playoffs at least. 7 years in a row now, and they're up and running. They're doing some really good things over there. But I think it's good to be able to compete against them and see where we stand.
What about this year's team they've got? How do you assess their team this year?
It's hard to tell. They've had a tune-up game, and then they went to Illinois, and Illinois had a tune-up game, and we're all part of those kind of situations. They competed well, but Illinois looked really good. They're a very good football team. So SIU is very solid. They're going to play well, but they were in a mismatch there. But they're a very good football team.
I know that you didn't see the quarterback last year was going to start against you. He's a lot different than the kid that played last year against you guys, didn't he?
Yeah, they've got a real good group of quarterbacks. The kid that played against us last year gave us fit scrambling and running, and he ran their offense very well. They had a great running back there as well. This kid now, he's a big, tall, athletic kid with a quick, strong arm, and they've got a nice core of receivers. He can deliver every throw. He can throw the short game and the deep ball.
Looking back on the Murray game, what are your thoughts now after getting a day or two to review it? You pretty pleased with what no turnovers, 3 penalties. That's pretty impressive, wasn't it? Yeah,
we won the game. As a coach, you always have to look at the things you have to get better at, and we've got an awful lot to still get better at. Especially if we want to compete against an SIU. We've got a lot of things that we have to get better at in a hurry. But I was pleased, one, with the effort. Some guys stepped up and I thought made great progress. Other guys kind of stayed about where they were, and we'd like to see everybody get better. And this is going to be a very important week of practice for us. Well, Matt puts in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Matt's going to get better just because he puts in a lot of work, and everybody always wants somebody to be ready as soon as they show potential, but they have to put in the work. They have to work at it. They have to get plays. The only way you can get good is to get plays in the game situation, and he's had quite a few plays at this point. He had a chance to have a season last year where he had his ups and downs. And, you learn from those kind of things, and then you get better. So we're expecting him to just continue to run the offense, not try to do all the big things and force things, but just run the offense and take what people give us. Yeah, they did some good things, and they did some bad things, It's just like anybody else across the board. It's hard for me to, just get up here and say they were perfect, but they did some really good things at times, and there's some things that we have to improve on, and that's just part of football. But our offensive line is developing well, but we have to still improve. Well, the biggest challenge for us was actually fatigue. They spread us out, and they kept throwing those screens. They must have thrown 40 of those things, and we're a pursuit defense. So kids have to sprint 25 yards every play to get to the perimeter. And, I thought they wore down in spurts, but we're in really good shape. So the fatigue factor was just a short-lived thing. We had real good recovery. But we had to use a lot more players than we normally do.